In this video, I wanted to talk about erasing and drawing and its use cases. So I'm going to draw a line. Oh, a little bit blurry. Let me try to draw another one. Still a bit... Okay, it works. So the thing about erasing is that I think it works a lot better in digital because, one, you could also undo if you don't like your erase. In physical drawing, more often than not, I think you can make it work, but you have to be extremely careful with it. So I really don't like erasing because I feel like more often than not it means you weren't being careful enough. But if you've been working on a larger piece of work and you need to erase, then by all means try it. Just try to be very careful with it. They make these really fine, small, I forget the name of it. It's called like a mono eraser, I think. And it's like a tube. It's really small. It lets you get a really accurate erase if you need to, but more often than not, personally, I'm still gaining experience, and I pretty much would just draw, like, I'm drawing for the purpose of practicing rather than for a pretty drawing, because I could acknowledge that I need a lot of experience, and I am far away from really being able to, not call myself an artist yet. I don't mean to be discouraging, but I know I need more practice. So I drew a line here. And the thing about that is sometimes I found myself doing, like, I mean to erase a very small part, but I've realized that it can be difficult to really get what you're looking for when you're trying to erase. It just doesn't always turn out that good. I'm also using a small eraser. So if you're doing it digitally, I would try to match your eraser with the line size, the point size that you drew at. But if you are trying to erase something extremely small, then obviously go for a smaller eraser size. I found the work for erasing, like, I usually just try to erase really small things if I need to. I feel like sometimes you can achieve really sharp points that maybe you didn't draw originally, or maybe you were trying to explore to get some other type of detail through erasing. It's something that should be used with moderation. You do not want to get to a point in which you're erasing all the time. I think that that's kind of like an anti-drawing tool. The other thing is, if you are to switch back to the physical side, you have to think about the durability of the surface that you're drawing on. Some artists will use a thing called a kneaded eraser. I think it's KNEADED. Basically, there's some types of things in which you kind of have to, like, well, artists will do that for effects too, but for the most part, I think they use it for, like, actually erasing. And the whole point is to adhere whatever's on the surface onto the eraser. So you kind of like pat it. But I feel like you have to be very cautious on the side of the surface that you are working with. So the thing about digital is you don't have to worry about that so much, and you also have the redo, undo button in the event. Maybe you like it, maybe you don't. Physical, more you do it, there's a good chance you may end up damaging the surface itself. That could be a major issue if you're working on a large composition. That means you may have to either, again, prepare a small area, or you may end up accidentally destroying a portion of your composition, which could be a major issue. More often than not, I think the better thing to do is try to be accurate with your planning of lines, and trying to use methods like ghosting. When I say ghosting, you draw two places where you draw two dots on a page, and you try to get in the motion of drawing the line that you want to draw before drawing it. The whole idea is to kind of plan out before you actually execute the line. A little bit thick. Here I was kind of focusing more on like pen pressure, but here I kind of just had the same pen pressure throughout. Let me try that again. Ghosting again. I mean, you could do this for all types of lines, just to say. But, I think really trying to get accurate lines the first time is definitely a better method than relying on erasing too much. I think even focusing on erasing too much could be extremely annoying and kind of take you out of the drawing flow. when I say flow, I mean, there's a way, eventually you get really used to drawing and you even stop thinking of it and you kind of lose track of time. It takes a good deal of experience to get to that point, and even when you do get to that point, you may not be 100% good at drawing everything. Everything requires a new level of practice when you do it, but just know that erasing is one of those things that makes you switch out of that mode. So it can be a bit, not damaging, but just a bit annoying. Oh, I missed it. I was so close. The other thing, yeah, be careful of the eraser that you use. Certain erasers could tear the page. Usually the larger ones I've found, you may accidentally end up tearing a page. I mean, I guess it depends on the quality of the paper, but there's a lot of factors that go into it. But I found the mono erasers. Let me try to quickly go to Amazon and figure out the exact eraser that I used. I think I found it. It was called I think it's just a 3.8 millimeter pen style eraser. And yeah, they're kind of, it's pretty much just a pencil that holds a tube of eraser. Because a lot of mechanical pencils will come with an eraser itself on the end, and it's a very fine one, but those are much more fine to work with, so I would highly recommend those instead, so you don't have to go through the one on your mechanical pencil, but that's totally up to you. But yeah, I think those are the main things I wanted to cover. If you have any questions, please ask in the comments. If you Oh, you know what? Maybe one last thing. Well, I think I already mentioned this, how you can get effects sometimes when you erase, or maybe you have a sharp point and you want to get it sharper. Well, you could always try to erase a little bit more to try to achieve that sharp point. So that is another viable method if you want to, something like that. Oops. Something like that. But yeah, if you have a question, please ask in the comments. If you like the video, please like it. If you like my channel, please subscribe. Thank you very much for listening. Bye.